Hi, this is Ann with Finance on the Offense, and today I'm going to go over what the gig economy is. All right, let's get started. Okay, so the gig economy is a shift from people working the normal 9-to-5 jobs to working more short-term contract and freelance jobs. In the last few years, the gig economy has seen a huge uptick. People are quitting their jobs and shifting over to this contract work, freelance work, and that kind of thing. But there are definitely pros and cons. Most people my age and younger tend to jump jobs every few years. I think we just enjoy changing up our workplace, and we also get bored doing the same things over and over year after year. The gig economy is a great solution to this. Working with different clients and doing different tasks all the time is pretty appealing to a lot of us. You definitely need to be a self-starter and be very deadline driven though. When I was working in the gig economy, I would be given a project and a deadline, and that was pretty much it. I was allowed to work on my own time independently. But if you're going to go this route, you have to be very disciplined, and you have to make sure that everything gets back to the client on time. A great thing about contract and freelance work is it's usually temporary and there are no strings attached. There's also a lot more flexibility. Workers can refuse projects if they don't necessarily want to work on them, although I wouldn't really do this very often, otherwise you're going to damage relationships with your freelance partner. Also, another great thing is that most of the time these jobs are remote, so you can do them from home, from a coffee shop, anywhere you want, as long as the deadlines get done. Working from home is a huge plus for a lot of us. Next, the pay is generally higher than what you would make at a full-time job if you're talking an hourly rate. And that is because companies don't have to pay benefits with this type of work. Sometimes freelance work can be billed by the project instead of hourly, and that can be a really great motivator for us to get faster and improve our skills. For example, if you're a really fast worker, you can get that project done in 1 hour, say, instead of 3. And now you have the ability to either relax or take on more freelance work. So it really makes sense to increase your own speed and efficiency. So those are the good things about working freelance or contract jobs. And here are some of the not so good things. In most cases, you're not going to get benefits. So that means no health insurance, no 401k, and all that great stuff you get when you're working full-time at a company. Another negative thing is when I was doing this full-time, I would have a few different clients and it was usually fine. Deadlines would be kind of staggered and it wouldn't be a big deal. But every now and then, the companies would just happen to have the same deadlines and I would suddenly be faced with a mountain of work. I used to tell my husband, I think there's a freelance storm brewing, and then it would hit me like a tidal wave. Another kind of negative thing, if you're not used to it, is finding your own clients. It's definitely not as stable as a full-time job where you just always have work there waiting for you. You have to go out and get that. I never really had to worry about that because the company that I had just quit and the ones before that, I still had really good relationships with them and they gave me lots of freelance work. But there was definitely more of a lack of stability that you don't have when you have a full-time job. Next up is taxes. Taxes can get a little crazy, especially if you're working for lots of different clients. You need to keep track of how much money you're making at each and also any expenses that you might incur because you can actually write those off your taxes. Companies usually don't withhold any taxes for contract employees. So you will need to estimate your yearly taxes and make quarterly prepayments to the government, which is something that a full-time job does for you. They basically take those out of your check all year long and they send them quarterly as well. If you decide not to do that, you'll probably owe a penalty to the IRS for not prepaying. So that's what the gig economy is all about. It's about not having a full-time job and just working little side jobs here and there like freelance, contract jobs, and that kind of thing. All right, I hope you liked this video. If you did and you want to see more videos like this, please click on the subscribe button and the little button next to it and you'll be notified every time a new video comes out. All right, I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.